I've been playing a little bit of Nightreign, and I really like the soundtrack, but I didn't get to immerse myself in it, because I was busy. My god, look at that view. Take me to church, 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 church. Gotta run, gotta run, gotta run. Zoom, 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 zoom. Jump. No fall damage. Lock off. No, oh no, no, no. It's time to get some peaceful. No! That's a big bird. That's a big bird. Look at this. Look at this. I am never getting ready for the night on time. My god. Oh no, I took the tree in the wrong direction. No, 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 no. Busy. I've been busy. So today we're going to check it out, beginning with the main theme of Nightreign. Okay, one sec. There's already so much here. It's stunning. As far as I can tell, this track was composed by Shoei Miyazawa. Yeah, I had a sense the team was cooking on the soundtrack of this game. Let's begin again. So the very first moments of the soundtrack aren't musical. It begins with the ambience. It begins with a little bit of air and crackling. Now this crackling could be like from a fireplace, something burning, right? But this already very subtle audio intro does a lot to kind of establish the soundscape that we're working with. It is gentle and it's up the high, almost like an ASMR thing, in which it prompts you for deeper listening before it brings you in. You know how whenever you're going to a party or a big event, after you go out, your ears are kind of cloudy? It's because they're trying to adjust for the very loud volumes that are around you. But here, they're doing the opposite. They're using a very gentle sound to pull you in and have you listen closer, and then the melody comes in. So it prompts you for intimacy. I think it's very much intentional. Yeah, I really like this already. So here we have the harp playing kind of an accompanying role. In the original menu theme for Elden Ring, we've had Marika's theme, or at least what I perceive to be Marika's theme, played in octaves on the harp. Right? As a melodic statement. Or, if to expand it a little bit, it was 3 notes. It was... And now we have something that is separating itself significantly when it comes to how the melody moves, but it's very similar when it comes to the type of instruments. They're just moved around, which I think kind of resembles what they're doing with the lore from what I was able to glean in the short time I was playing. It seems like a lot of ideas from Elden Ring are there, and I'm not talking about assets, I'm talking about like philosophical lore concepts, and they are moved around, they're shifted. It's kind of a parallel reality. The point is, the movement of the melody of this theme is stepwards, up and then down. Now, this thing already is so different from a leap downwards. This one is a lot more somber. It feels more personal for some reason. And that movement is almost like a prayer. Like you could hear it like in a Gregorian chant or something. Like it has this stable feel that also holds grief in it. This movement also reminds me kind of how the waves move across the shore. When you go to the round table hold of Nightreign specifically, the waves are moving towards the sand and back. And the sea is often evocative of death. So that feels like a theme that holds a place here. Death and the night. This movement also has a very somber from ashes to ashes kind of a feel. So you go back to where you started, right? From dust you came and to dust you shall return. It's so simple and it's elegant and it's conveying the themes in a great way. Kudos. Let's continue. So here, right, we have a kind of a repetition of the theme. It starts similarly, but it changes. So first, this theme is now presented an octave above. Before it was lower. I think it also moved from the cello to the violin or from the viola to the violin. There is an escalation without really breaking the aesthetic and the emotional space that we were in so far. It also allows them to open the range both upwards and downwards because they can hear the bass like in a more intense way taking over. More like the melody up high is also casting a deeper shadow, right? The thing that shines the brightest cast the darkest shadows. So one more thing, and I promise we're gonna continue to the next bit, but in the original menu theme for Elden Ring, basically we've had Marika's theme, as mentioned before. We had and then we had Radagon's theme, which is like the bombastic, which is basically like E and D, E and D. When Marika's theme is leaping downwards from E to A, Radagon's theme is stepping downwards from E to D. Now, Marika's theme isn't only leaping downwards, it also steps upwards. So it seems like Marika's theme in the original is genuinely resisting Radagon in every possible way it can. It's trying to leap downwards, it's trying to step upwards, anything that isn't Radagon's step downward. Now here, this theme separates itself because it moves in steps upwards and downwards. But then, it seems like it's gonna do it again. And it leaps a fifth upwards. Now this is a mirror image of what the Marika theme did. Is the Nightreign one, and Marika's theme is... You already cannot convince me that Marika and Radagon aren't a crucial part of this game, regardless of whether it's directly connected to the lore or tangentially? Tangentially? Yeah, I think it's more connected than we give it credit for. So yeah, let's continue. Okay, so a menu theme should usually get you excited for the game. It should get you hyped up and in the mood for the adventure you're about to experience. But if you're smart, you don't only go for the surface level emotional impact. You also plant seeds of ideas for things that are going to happen going forward or for ideas that you're going to explore, whether it's in the score or in the game. Here already, we have a similar rise into explosion, similar to what we have in the original game, but it explodes into 6/8 movement, which really makes it feel less like the original march of the Elden Ring theme of like ta 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 ta, which is basically the kind of march you see when you see a war, right? The shattering is the focal point. But here in Nightreign, you have something that's more akin to a dark lullaby on the quieter parts, or a prayer of grief on the quieter parts, and a dance on the second part. So instead of being like a 1, 2, 3, 4. It dances in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's check it out again. Wait a minute, did they just say Kyrie? Usually it's very difficult for me to figure out what they're saying in the lyrics, like in the choir lyrics. Usually it's Latin, but not always. And I'm pretty sure, let me hear it again, I'm pretty sure they said Kyrie. I'm almost certain. They did. They absolutely said Kyrie. Okay. Kyrie it's a Latin word derived from the Greek word Kyrios, which is Lord. Coincidence? I think not. I wonder what if the explosion we've had Radagon and Marika's themes kind of mirrored from before, and this is the explosion into Radagon's theme, but it's a different theme. And they sing Lord, so maybe it's referring to the Night Lord, and how it's connected to Radagon and Marika. I think that's definitely a question that this theme poses. 43 seconds in, that's so effective. Let's continue. Whoever composed this, I think it's Shoei Miyazawa. Master of contrast. Absolutely fantastic. Let's explore it. Over here we have kind of a stop, like a break, for a whole bar of 6/8. And that stop lets us focus on the tail end of the previous note, leaving the space in. That space isn't coincidental. Well, one, it's crucial for making something more impactful, right? Because the most intense contrast we can have is between nothing and everything. So it makes the entry a lot more epic. Because the idea of the forte, right, the powerful moment of the music, is not determined by how strong it is absolutely, but relatively by what came before it. So if you just continued into that forte, yeah, it would be an increase, but you only have like a much more tame slope. But if you go for a break, and from that break you explode into the new theme, or into your new part in the forte, what you have to compare it to is the silence. And that's a much steeper slope, dynamically. So already it's very cool. Beyond that, though, I think, let's hear it again. Already we have a little bit of a shift, right? In this track in general, we hear the sound of the strings being a lot closer. It's a repeating theme with the soundtrack in general. I think something about the sound of the strings here is a lot more intimate. It's recorded like we're hearing a lot more of the closer mics of the strings. And mic choice and sound shaping isn't a technical element, it's a compositional choice. So I think it's more intimate because of the kind of more personal story that it's trying to tell. So you have the soprano vocal up top, and then below you have the strings in kind of this ostinato, this repeating pattern of like takata 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 takata, and it's building more and more tension. It's bubbling under the surface. So in the original theme for Elden Ring, there was also a soprano solo. It was singing Marika's theme, but from what I personally think, whenever that soprano solo was appearing, it was never when we actually have Marika around. The soprano solo is, for example, completely absent from the menu version of the theme. But if we hear it in the Shadow of the Erdtree trailer, when Marika ascends, we do hear that soprano. I think that soprano singing is kind of the Elden Beast, or the greater will, kind of imparting the godhood upon Marika. In Elden Ring, when you fight Radagon and the Elden Beast, specifically the Elden Beast, you hear Marika's theme with the soprano, but you don't hear that in the opening menu. I don't think so. Which what makes me think that specifically that vocal is connected to the Greater Will or the Elden Beast rather than directly to Marika. It's the idea of godhood that's being represented with that high vocal soprano. It's really interesting how they manage to kind of flip the script and they take the same elements musically and they shift them around to function differently. So the strings are kind of having this nervous pattern at the bottom, and the higher vocal kind of covers the highest range. The string section is moving like the run between them, so it's hard to follow where it is. It's like the night slowly, like the night rain, if you will, closing in on the map. And therefore, you have that very strong element of running in this game that is more prevalent than it is in the original Elden Ring, because time is of the essence, right? You are being chased by circumstance. It's pushing you to move faster before you hit the start button. That is so well composed. Unbelievable. Let's check out the melody of this part. It's simple, but it has something in it. Let's hear it again. This is interesting. It kind of shadows, in a way, the theme from the first game, because in original Elden Ring we had, which is like ED, and here we have CB. It obviously mirrors the original theme. The reason why I think it's not only semantics, though, and it's actually connected because of the ideas behind it, it's in the same key. It's in A minor. So they created a theme that's essentially a foil. It's in literature, we have like, let's say, characters that in some manners they're similar, but it only helps emphasize in which ways they are different. Here we have themes that are definitely connected in their structure, in the idea. We have the more somber opening overpowered by an explosive rise into rhythm that in the original is more of a march, and here is more of a dance. Not exactly a waltz, but definitely evocative of that dance nature. And while the original theme had this melodic movement in A minor, which is ED, here we have C and B now. It really repeats itself in the same way. I can't believe it's not connected intentionally. We have a third note hiding there. It's da 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 dee da. That makes a lot more sense, because it's not only a half step of C and B. It's C, B, G. Now, the relationship between G and C, that's a fourth, right? It's the shadow of the fifth. So it's if I move a fifth upwards from C, I reach G. If I move a fourth downwards, I also reach G. Marika's theme was doing a leap downwards of a fifth and then a step upwards. This is a leap downwards of a fourth and a step upwards. I definitely think it's trying to be evocative intentionally of the first. This is not like you can't call it a ripoff of the original. It's very intentionally messing with the same ideas, and it's trying to say something different with them. Very, very interesting. That syncopated emphasis is badass. I don't have anything else to call it. It is the musical equivalent of aura farming. It's emphasizing the offbeat. Again, like it's living in a pocket dimension, and that pocket is about to explode. See how they're moving, right, from that rise into something that doesn't disassemble completely, but it narrows down to like the low pulse and the drama. The melody goes away, and you're left with like rhythm and tone. It's like so dramatic and rich in color. It's also contrasted by the high line in the piano that's now beginning to descend. And see how effective it is. It's basically... Which notes does it start from? So it starts from A, the home of the scale, and it goes like... And it's tapping down the scale, but because of it, and the whole drama around it, it's like, I don't know, the Night Lord itself is like slowly stepping down into the scene down the stairs, and his armies are marching with him. But because it's night and death themed, it goes for that 6/8 kind of signature, the meter of dancing. It's so cool. Wait. So we've had our explosion, the ultimate contrast between explosion and nothing, silence. The break, right? We have the break before and the break after, which creates somewhat of a cycle, right? It's merely a cycle. And something is up with that vocal. Let's listen to it again. Okay, so first and foremost, we have completely lost the lower end of the arrangement, right? We completely let it go and went back into a more quiet, suspenseful, somber area. And the strings are like up top, pretty sure playing overtones, so playing a very hollow sound. And something about that vocal, like out of hunch, at a first sight, I will say it is a tenor singing pretty high, like it's male vocals, but it's very far away and very ambiguous. It's kind of hard to ascertain when listening to it if it's high male vocal or a forcefully pitched down female vocal. And I think that's intentional. That's the idea of the masculine and the feminine united in the same form as the alchemical rebus, if you will. It's so effective in setting up questions for a game that hadn't started yet, and all the information we did get about it is that it is not affecting the story of Elden Ring, and it is separate. If you ask me, from everything I've seen so far, it may not affect anything in the world of Elden Ring, but it would be silly to call it unrelated, because it obviously tells something by moving the same pieces around and making us re-examine them. And they managed to set all of that up in 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Just amazing. Absolutely stunning. I can't wait to hear the rest of the soundtrack. It's so cool. If you guys have anything you want me to listen to, put it in the comments below and I'll be sure to explore it. For now, don't forget, drink, stretch, take good care of yourself, and I'll see you on the next one.